We have Dr. Pavan Duggal, the advocate of Supreme Court of India and a cybersecurity expert with us. Sir, we have seen that cybersecurity is becoming one of the major threats for CISOs as well and for the organization. But when it comes to the key trends, what are the key trends that you have to see when it comes to the realm of cybersecurity?
The key trends are that globally there is no one cybersecurity policy or law in place. The second key trend is that different countries have begun to start coming up with their own distinctive national laws on cybersecurity. Third is that countries who don't want dedicated laws in cybersecurity have started coming up with data breach notification laws, where stakeholders are mandated to report cybersecurity breaches. And fourth trend is increasing new national policies, whether it's on cybersecurity, whether it's on artificial intelligence, or even metaverse per se. These are some new trends. So when I look at the Indian context, I find India lacks a dedicated law on cybersecurity, but at the same time, India has been remarkably trying to address these challenges of cybersecurity by coming through the framework of the Information Technology Act. Mind you, the IT Act in the year 2008 has been amended so as to include cybersecurity therein, define it, and come up with various provisions. We've also come up with various rules and regulations, including the rules of 2011 and 2021. We also have the National Cybersecurity Policy of 2013, and now the government is working on a new National Cybersecurity Strategy 2023. So, a lot of good work is happening, but the space is exploding, and therefore, the kind of pace with which these new cybersecurity breaches are taking place and cyber attacks are evolving, the time has come that we need to be much more quicker and proactive in developing appropriate legal and policy responses to cybersecurity. The IT Directions 2022 are a remarkable step forward in this regard because they are mandating that if you do not report after you come to know of a cybersecurity breach within 6 hours, you are committing a penal offense under the IT Act. So, for the first time, India is invoking criminal liability for CISOs and for the top management of the company in case if they don't report a cybersecurity breach. That could be a good starting point to wake people out of their deep slumber. And now, with the proposed Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2022 that's in sight, you already have now a new scenario where companies could even be facing fine up to 500 crore rupees per incident in case any incident of data breach takes place. So clearly, when I look at the exposure under the new draft data protection law and exposure under the IT Act and rules and regulations, the messaging is loud and clear on the wall, which is that for CISOs of the country, you have no choices but to comply with applicable law. You have no choices but to exercise due diligence while you discharge. And you also have to supplement the legal compliances with appropriate technical parameters, including adopting the latest tools for artificial intelligence, which are now being used for detection of cybersecurity breaches, so that you can proactively deal with the issue of protection and preservation of data and the cybersecurity of the ecosystem at a whole.
So, but we have also seen a debate of cyber threat being reported and cyber attack being reported. What do you think about that?
The law is very clear. The law has actually come up with two distinctive concepts. One is a cyber incident and one is a cyber security incident. So a lot of people think that it's only a breach that has to be reported. No, it's not just only a breach. If it's something that's actually anticipated, that has not taken place, but that's come to your attention, you still will have to report it. So supposing a vulnerability is existing in your system and it comes to your attention today, within 6 hours you will have to report it because that vulnerability will qualify as a cyber incident along with a cyber security incident under the IT Directions 2022. And therefore, I think the ambit is much, much more broader than just cybersecurity breaches. The idea is to make the ecosystem more cyber secure, cyber resilient, and cyber safe. And for this particular purpose, stakeholders are encouraged to report. Now, till now, no prosecution has taken place. So everybody is saying, I'm not going to report. But that approach may not necessarily work because the law says if that 6 hour period passes by and you don't report, then you automatically commit an offense under the law. And once you commit an offense, there is no exception to the same. You can be prosecuted in the next 7 years. So the learning on the wall is please ensure that you report the cyber security incidents or cyber incidents in your organization, even if that means that you are being abundantly careful in your caution, in your approaches. Please go ahead and do that. Why? Because that's going to protect you, your organization, from potential legal exposure. And also, ultimately, it's going to strengthen the national approaches towards strengthening the cybersecurity of India as a whole.
So I have actually read your book on the metaverse, and we have seen, it's metaverse is becoming one of the biggest trend. We have seen so many companies going towards that. But when it comes to cybersecurity, in adhering to that, these kind of new technology, what do you think the miss out point that CISOs do, and that have to be taken care of?
CISOs tend to be enamored by these new technologies, and they think that new technologies is the ultimate magical key for all problems. They'll have to quickly realize that no amount of emerging technologies can serve as the magical key. It can serve at best only as a catalyst to push the further development. So CISOs have to take a holistic approach. A lot of time I find CISOs are very skeptical. Shall we use these newly emerging technologies? Others have not tested it. Why should I be the first one to use it? So there's a lot of to be or not to be. I think that doubt and self doubt has to give way to say, let's experiment. Because in any case, the law does not really mandate you to use emerging technologies. But if by using emerging technologies, you can strengthen your cybersecurity, that can be a good starting point. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it will be a holistic approach that will have to be done. Traditional approaches, new technologies, all put together. Reactiveness has to give way to more proactive approach. And once we start acting proactively and start using some latest tools, they are very, very effective and they can help you extensively in the purposes of going forward and protecting your data and your ecosystem. So CISOs have a huge problem. Mind you, they are already doing firefighting on a day-to-day basis. On top of it, they will now have to deal with these newly emerging technologies and futuristic trends. So they have a huge work to do, and it's only a juggling of priorities for them.
I think that's we have to change, and that's something we have to look forward to. Thank you so much, sir, for being us.
Thank you. It's
with
been a
us.
pleasure talking
Thank you
with
so
you.
much.
Thanks.